Hello everyone. In recent years, we are getting more map-based and location-based questions for your prelims examination, and more often these questions are asked from geography as well as environmental science, right? And at the first go, it might seem like there are various facts which we need to memorize and keep in mind, right? It might seem like we need to mug up these facts. So in today's video, I'm going to discuss a way in which you can interrelate these facts so that you can remember it in a better way, in an efficient way. And if you are guessing at certain questions, if you could interrelate these facts, it will improve your guesswork too, right? So in today's video, I'm going to discuss regarding the climate, annual rainfall, and natural vegetation, right? So one of the previous questions related with this topic, it was asked in 2015. Which one of the following regions of India has a combination of mangrove forest, evergreen forest, and deciduous forest, right? And another question, consider the following states. 3 states has been given here. In which of the above states do tropical wet evergreen forests occur, right? This question might seem like a factual question, but if you could relate these terms, tropical wet evergreen forest, and think about this particular question from the rainfall perspective, we will be easily able to answer these kind of questions. So in today's session, we will be seeing how you can answer these kind of questions, right? So to start with, this is a map showing the climatic regions, different climatic regions in India's case, right? So to start with, starting from the western coastal regions, here we can see monsoon type with short dry season. In the sense, we are getting more rainfall for these regions, okay? And beyond that, on the eastern side of these western Ghats, we can find monsoon with dry season in summer. Now that's given there is actually Tamil Nadu coast. You might be knowing the Tamil Nadu is lying in the rain shadow region of the western Ghat. So during summer time, we won't be getting rainfall in the Tamil Nadu, right? So it's having dry period in summer, right? Instead, during the northeast monsoon period, we'll be getting more rainfall for this region, right? Anyway, the western coastal plain as well as these regions, they are getting rainfall. Now beyond that, we can find steppe climate. Now steppes, they are actually grasslands, right? And that denotes, there ain't enough precipitation in these regions, and that's why they are having steppe climate. Now beyond that, we could find the tropical, savanna type of forest. Again, another type of grassland, right? And this type of savanna grassland, it will be having deciduous trees spotted in it, right? That's the kind of vegetation seen over these regions. So 4 different climatic types: monsoon type with short dry season, monsoon with dry season, steppe climate, as well as tropical savanna type of climate, right? Beyond that, we are having monsoon type with dry winter, okay? And towards the west of this particular climate, right, again we can find steppe. Again beyond that, towards west, we can find the hot desert type of climate, okay? Now going towards the northeastern regions, right, we are having monsoon type with dry winter, plus we are having towards the Arunachal Pradesh regions, we are having cold humid winter with short summer. And in these regions, we are having more annual rainfall, because those regions, they are getting rainfall both from the southwest monsoon as well as from the northeast monsoon coming from China going towards the Bay of Bengal regions, right? And in the western Himalayas, we can find the polar type of climate. Now the climatic regions, right, they are related with the annual rainfall, right? The rainfall which a region gets, that determines the climatic type of that particular region, right? And next, let's see the annual rainfall, how the annual rainfall is distributed in India. And here the darkened region you can find towards the western coastal plains, right? Towards the windward side of western Ghats, we can find regions with rainfall more than 200 centimeters, right? And as we go towards the east of western Ghats, the rainfall will start to decrease, okay? And here in these lightly marked regions, you can find the rainfall 100 to 200. So on the western coastal plain, it was around more than 200. And in the regions towards the east of western Ghats, we are finding rainfall 100 to 200. As we go further towards east, the rainfall is decreasing, and now here the rainfall is around 50 to 100, right? And in these central regions, you can find the rainfall less than 50, right? So this is how overall how the rainfall is distributed in these western peninsular regions. And as we progress towards the eastern regions, right, there also you can find the rainfall having 100 to 200 centimeters of rainfall. I mean, interlinking this particular concept, the annual rainfall, with that of the monsoon, right? If you take monsoon, there are two branches for monsoon. In the sense, first branch enters through the Arabian Sea, right, giving it rainfall for most of these regions, and another branch enters through the West Bengal regions, giving precipitation for these regions. And that's why in these regions we are having 100 to 200 rainfall, right? Then towards the northeastern states, there you can find most of the states are having more than 200 centimeters of rainfall. More annual rainfall is concentrated over these regions as they get rainfall both from the summer monsoon as well as the northeast monsoon, right? Now as we progress towards the western Himalayas, here you can find regions with less than 50% rainfall, then having 100 to 200 centimeters rainfall. Then we are having the rainfall from 50 to 100 centimeters of rainfall, right? So in these regions the rainfall is dependent on the altitude. So does the vegetation seen over these regions. They are different from other regions, right? Now going towards the northwest of India, here you can find that we are having rainfall less than 50 centimeters, and we are having arid, semi-arid and desert type of climate situated towards the northwestern regions. So this is how the annual rainfall is distributed, right? Now again briefing through the annual rainfall, more annual rainfall is for the west of Western Ghats as well as you can say for the northeastern states. And if you are considering the islands, right, the Andaman and Nicobar also gets more than 200 centimeters of rainfall. Now this picture again taken from NCERT, and it shows the way in which different vegetations are being distributed, right? So the important vegetations given in this particular map, they are tropical evergreen forest, tropical deciduous forest, tropical thorn forest and scrubs, montane forest, littoral and swamp forest. Okay. So one idea in which you can interlink this vegetation with that of the rainfall. In places having more annual rainfall, we will be able to find the evergreen forest, right? More humid, more warm regions, we will be able to find evergreen forest. And as the rainfall decreases, as the dry period is having, if the region is facing dry period in between, right, the rainfall will be decreasing. And in that scenario, the vegetation will change from evergreen to that of deciduous. Deciduous means the forest which sheds their leaf off, right? And again, further if the precipitation or if their annual rainfall is again decreasing, the vegetation will change from deciduous forest to that of thorn forest, or you can say grasslands, right? Grasslands and thorn forest, they are not same, but again when the precipitation decreases, we will be having beyond the deciduous forest region, we will be having regions with grassland as well as regions having thorn forest, right? Now these first of the three vegetation, they are interlinked with the annual rainfall, right? As the rainfall decreases, the vegetation will progressively change from evergreen to that of deciduous, then to the thorn forest. Now in the figure, you can find these evergreen forests. They are more towards the west of Western Ghats, then in the Tamil Nadu coast regions, then towards the West Bengal as well as in the northeastern region, and in Andaman and Nicobar too we can find the evergreen forest. So evergreen forest, they are found over regions having more than 200 centimeters of rainfall. So interrelated with the annual rainfall map, right, you can see here we are having more than 200 centimeters of rainfall. At the same place we are having the tropical evergreen forest, right? Now the tropical deciduous forest, in these regions you can find the precipitation is decreasing from 200 centimeter rainfall, they are decreasing towards 100 and then towards 50, right? In those regions having precipitation from 100 to 200 centimeters of rainfall, we can find tropical deciduous forest, right? And in these central regions, you can find, since thorn forest and interrelated with the annual rainfall map, you can find here the precipitation is very less in these regions, and at those same places we are having tropical thorn forest, right? Two more important vegetations. First one, montane forest. The montane forest, they are seen over towards the western Himalayas plus the northeastern regions, more specifically the Arunachal Pradesh and Assam regions, as well as Sikkim, right? So in those regions, since due to this altitude, right, the vegetation will be changing. So such regions or such vegetation we call it as montane forest, right? So again, interrelated with the western Himalayas, here you can find the precipitation changing from 100 to 200 and then towards 50 to 100, then at the top we are having less than 50% of rainfall. So related with that, we are having the montane forest here. Montane means, with altitude there will be change in vegetation. As you can see here, the precipitation decreasing from the lower altitude towards the higher altitude regions. So related with that, in the lower altitude we will be having deciduous forest. Then as we progress towards the upper reaches, we will be having polar type of climate. Now related with the climatic type, we are having the polar type of climate in the western Himalayas, right? So as the altitude increases, we will be having the vegetation changing from the deciduous, then towards the alpine grasslands, then towards the tundra vegetation at the top, which are basically mosses and lichens, right? So this is how the vegetation as well as the annual rainfall is interrelated. Now regarding each type of these vegetation, right, you need to know about the tree species, the dominant species in these regions, where they are found, and what are the characteristic properties of these forested regions. Like, what is the property of evergreen forest and that of deciduous and such kind of things, right? So I'm not going in detail regarding each of these vegetation. Rather, this is how you can interrelate the annual rainfall plus the vegetation, so that it will enable you to remember it in a better way. You might get question, related with even annual rainfall. You will be given different regions and you will be asked to arrange these regions according to annual rainfall. Or, you will be given states and, as you have seen in one previous question, you will be asked which type of forest is seen over these states. Something related with that, right? So, this is another picture showing, interlinking the temperature as well as precipitation. So, the general idea, right? Now, we are going beyond the India's case. In general case, if the temperature is very high, plus we are having more increased rainfall, the vegetation will be having rainforest, or you can say evergreen forest, right? And if the temperature is staying same and the precipitation is decreasing, the forest will change from the evergreen then towards the deciduous, right? Then we will be having the grasslands, and at the end we will be having the desert type of climate. So same way, if the temperature is decreasing and we are having more rainfall, right? The deciduous forest in the upper reaches, in more towards the mid latitude regions, right? Then again it changes to the grassland, the steppe type of grassland, then towards the desert type of climate, right? And as the temperature is decreasing, plus we are having precipitation, kind of effective precipitation to support the vegetative growth here, we will be having coniferous forest. And in the polar regions, where the precipitation is less as well as the temperature is less, we will be having tundra vegetation. Now in India's case, we can find this polar type of vegetation in the western Himalayas as well as the eastern Himalayas, plus in some regions of the Nilgiri hills in the peninsular plateau. Now let's solve the previous question related with these topics. The first one, which one of the following regions of India has a combination of mangrove forest, evergreen forest and deciduous forest? Mangroves, they are found over towards the coastal regions, right? They comes under the vegetation, actually the littoral and swamp forest, which we can find in these Andhra Pradesh regions as well as Odisha as well as the West Bengal regions, right? Okay, so the question is regarding in which of these given states are having a combination of mangrove forest, evergreen as well as deciduous, right? So the given options, first one, north coastal Andhra Pradesh, right? Somewhere here, and there we are not having combination of these vegetations, rather than we are having deciduous forest there, right? And the southwest Bengal, we are not having the combination of these three forests. And then southern Saurashtra, And in southern Saurashtra also we are not having the mangrove forest. They are not the combination of all the three, evergreen as well as the deciduous forest, right? Evergreen is more limited towards the western coastal plain or the western coast of Western Ghats as well as the northeastern regions, then in the Andaman and Nicobar regions, right? So in the last option, right, Andaman and Nicobar Islands. In Andaman and Nicobar Islands, we are having these mangrove forests, plus we are having the evergreen forest as well as the deciduous forest. So the answer for this question comes out as D. The next previous year question. Consider the following states. 3 states has been given. In which of the above states do tropical wet evergreen forests occur? Right. So going through the states, Arunachal Pradesh, Himachal Pradesh and Mizoram. Now as we can see from the map, right, in the northeastern states we are having the tropical evergreen forest, both in the Arunachal Pradesh regions as well as Mizoram. And as we go towards the western Himalayas, right, in the western Himalayas we can find the mountain forest. Now don't think, in Arunachal Pradesh only mountain forest is there. Now they will be progressing from the lower reaches towards the upper reaches. We will be having mountain forest, right, because as the temperature changes with the altitude, we will be able to find the mountain forest, right? And in the lower reaches, we will be having the evergreen as well as deciduous forest, right? So in the Himachal Pradesh region, they are entirely covered by the mountain forest. They are not having evergreen forest. Now the tropical evergreen forest, they are found over 3 regions: the west of Western Ghats, the northeastern states, plus the Andaman and Nicobar. Now this tropical, in the question, right, in the question it's given as tropical wet evergreen forest. Now that's a bit different from the general kind of tropical evergreen forest. Now the evergreen forest itself can be divided based on precipitation. It can be divided as wet evergreen, semi-evergreen, or it can be divided as dry evergreen, right? Think about the little term itself, wet evergreen, where those regions having higher annual rainfall, we will be able to find these tropical wet evergreen forests. In India's case, right, in the Tamil Nadu regions, we are having evergreen forest there. You can say it as dry evergreen or semi-evergreen, but they are not tropical wet evergreen forest, right? Tropical wet evergreen, they are found in the western coast of Western Ghats, the northeastern regions and the Andaman and Nicobar regions, right? So going to the question, in the 3 states given in the question where the tropical wet evergreen forest can be found, right? 1, Arunachal Pradesh, Himachal Pradesh and Mizoram. As you can see, the Himachal Pradesh regions, they are having mountain forest, not the tropical wet evergreen forest. And eliminating that from the options, we'll get the answer as 1 and 3 only, right? What left will be A as well as C. And in both of these regions, right, the Arunachal Pradesh, Mizoram, we are having the tropical wet evergreen forest. Now, in this video, right, we have seen a way in which we can interrelate these maps, right? So if you study the facts in this way, not only related with the vegetation as well as the climate or rainfall, you can do the same strategy for other, studying other facts, right? Like the rivers and their tributaries. Now, if you take the rivers and tributaries, the river will always be flowing from upper slope towards the down the slope direction, right? They will be moving down the mountain ranges. So if you are finding the rivers and tributaries, an important area for your prelims examination, right? Each year you will get at least 1 question from rivers and tributaries. So when you are studying the rivers and tributaries, you can interrelate it with the mountain as well as hill ranges in those regions. Hills, another important fact which you have to memorize for your prelims examination. So you can interrelate the rivers tributaries with that of the hills. Same way, you can interrelate rock formations and that of the soil, and it can further be related with the vegetation too. So in this video, we have seen a way in which we can interrelate the vegetation, annual rainfall and climate. Same way, you can do it for the rivers and tributaries as well as mountains. I will be coming out with more videos based on maps and locations that are important for your prelims examination. Stay tuned and thank you.